Because what the thing about touring is, and again, I could not do this year in year out. I'm glad I had my one experience. It was a great experience, like from that perspective, I should say.
Right.
There were, there were hard times and there were fun times, but like from that experience, that perspective, it's like I got to go across the United States. I got to go from, Moscow all the way up to fucking England. What did it fucking experience? I got to see, so much crazy shit.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, I can't, you know what it is? It's the life of a pirate. You're going back to saying you're a pirate. It's a pirate's life, dude. It's just like, I got to be out on the fucking sea, like, fucking like, doing my thing, being a road dog.
It's totally a pirate's life, bro. Fucking
yeah.
And I guess I got addicted to it. I don't know. I fucking love it. I love it.
Because you meet people and you never feel like you're stagnating because you're always going somewhere. If you're always going somewhere, then you're alive and you're living and you're experiencing shit. And you're not you're not XYZ who fucking stayed in Podunk Town for fucking 25 years and yada yada yada. It's like I'm doing stuff with my life. You're not fucking amateur musician who plays local shows and like talks about their career, and they've like never like been outside the tri-state area. You're actually out there doing it.
What's funny is you're not the first person to tell me that I should teach people how to be, I don't know, lack of a better term, useful or know how to do things for yourself. Like you should fucking teach people how to be a tour manager and all this stuff. Like you're not the first person to fucking say this to me.
I don't think you should teach people. I think you should be the guy. You should be hired. Like you could even play guitar.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, you got to invent this. And here's the thing. Don't call yourself anything that's been before. You got to fucking you got to call yourself like, I'm trying to think of a name off of the top of my head. You got to call yourself something and be like, oh, your tour needs a something. Fill in the blank.
And I just happen to be
something. And it's like, what does something cover? Well, you need to get paid from the promoter. I know how to fucking do that. You need a fucking second guitarist. I can be that second guitarist. You need a fucking driver. I could be the driver. You don't know how to, pack up your fucking, what was interesting about being on the road? I'd watch fucking Goolsby get so mad about grades, road grades. I never understood this until I was in a weighted fucking box truck.
Right.
You're driving up fucking these inclines and you're just burning fucking gas doing it, man.
Yep.
And it's just about like even listening, it's funny for a guy who doesn't drive, listening to Joe talk about fucking RVs, like the fucking knowledge. I was just blown away. It's like talking like a fucking like a savant, like about like the wear and tear and the yada yada yada. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. It's like, yes, you could put all this information in a book, or you could be like, instead of that, like, well, you could buy my book, or you could fucking hire me, or you write a handbook and then you say hire me, and then anytime someone crosses you, be like, you idiot, it's in the fucking handbook. Check the handbook, rule number 93.
Yeah. Packing the trailer, all that shit. Yeah,
that's like that's a challenge. Fucking, you got to get your shit weighed on certain, depending on what kind of thing. Yeah, Goolsby had a two. He bought something specifically for 2 axles because it would be charged less than if he had 3 axles.
Yeah,
but
we almost got burned in that in Canada.
Oh,
with the box. They were trying to nail him for being a commercial vehicle without paying a commercial fucking license. But
because he kind of like operated within the Venn diagram of like this and this, right? Yeah, that's interesting. There was, oh my God, we almost rolled over in that box truck because one of the tires popped, the inner tires.
Oh my God,
dude, it was the crazy, and I got this all on fucking tape. Fucking the inner tire pops. We're on our way to a show, right? We have hours to get to the show. I think it might have been going into Nashville. And the guy goes, your inner tire is completely out of air. At any point when driving, you could have rolled over. Like there's no seatbelts in the back of that.
Yeah, no.
Thing. If you're rolling, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're all bouncing around back there. Forget it.
And there, he had fucking he had rules in place about like, don't put heavy equipment on the fucking, top. No. That was not the rule. And I'm not going to tell this story on the air, but let's just say that, it came back to bite him pretty hard. But like, the rule was don't leave any shit lying on the ground. It's a good rule. Right. You could trip over stuff. However, the sheer irony of this rule is what ended up getting somebody very injured one day when trying to keep
flying from the top.
Yeah, but in an effort to keep everything off the ground, I put shit up top and that shit fell.
Yeah.
And it fucking, oh my God, that was fucking scary as fuck. And so it was like a catch-22 because you're damned if you fucking do. You're damned if you leave it on the ground because then you trip over it. But need to get it, you're not accounting for, you're accounting for all the stuff to go that's audio related to go into the fucking trunk part. But what about all the camera gear? Tripods, fucking, and again, I've never toured with the band. So it's like, I didn't know how to pack to be on tour at all. I didn't. I took way too much shit with me.
Right. That's usually what happens on the first tours.
Oh my God. I learned, dude, there's a lot of stuff that I learned from that fucking tour. Here's an interesting thing that I've never heard you talk about. This is what's interesting that I've learned about when touring, probably, as a first and only timer, this is the advice I would give someone going on their first tour. More than anything else. You tell me if you agree with this. Maybe you'll be like, nah, Jeff, you don't know what you're talking about. Ready?
Right.
Okay. So when you see someone, like you and I have met several times over the last decade, right?
Right.
But we've never met longer than maybe like, I don't know, like a fucking hour or something. Mm-hmm. And so I've only seen you 1 hour out of 24 hours, which is out of 1 day out of 7 days of a week. Now, if you're on the tour with someone, you're seeing 1 hour that you see said person. Like I might know somebody for 20 years and I've only spent 20 hours with them. You know what I mean? Right. Like that sort of thing. Like, so I've seen the best 20 hours of that person.
Yeah.
But when potentially, but when you fucking are with people for the other 23 hours and they see you and you see them, you see everything. It's amazing that any band can tour on, forget about on like a professional, like not professional, you know what I mean? Like on a fucking super duper like label level, like fucking indie bands fucking touring together. Holy shit. That's insane.
That's why there's a lot of, turnover. It's hard to find people who have the dedication, but like you said, like you got to look for key signs, like people who have a certain dedication, a certain responsibility. You need a bunch of dudes who are just responsible fucking human beings, and you just got to look for the right character traits. Sometimes you can get fooled, but yeah, it's when you're on the road in a small fucking space for a month, 2 months, you learn every idiosyncrasy. You just gotta try to pick the right guy right off the bat. I've learned to see certain things, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like to judge too quickly, but sometimes you can just tell now, like, for having so much experience.
You have to do fucking interviews. It's like you have to interview people. You got to like get them to fill out like that's something